Yeah. This picture right here just came into the newsroom, and it appears that a funnel cloud is forming in the skies over spring.
It looks ominous. So where are these storms headed, and how long will they last?
Gene is here. Gene, what exactly are we looking at?
They're headed for town. They'll be here within the next half hour, and they've already knocked out power to nearly 50,000 people. This big cluster of thunderstorms here as it pushes south from the Beltway and Spring down toward Houston. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30. That's in this flashing box that you see here. These storms, at one point, we were concerned there might be some rotation. We were seeing that on HD Doppler. Let's go under the radar, and you can see the tremendous lightning, all these white lines blowing down from the Hardy Toll Road down toward Bush Intercontinental Airport. Let's track these storms for you and show you the main threats. The purple areas indicate where we could see hail, perhaps as large as a quarter. We've had numerous reports of nickel-size hail along I-45 just in the Woodlands area. Also reports of trees down. According to our current track, these storms should hit downtown by 5:39, Jacinto City around the same time, University of Houston 5:47, and headed for the Texas Medical Center just before 6 o'clock. Gene Norman with an update on our tornado warning, a dangerous storm just south of Katy rolling along I-10. On HD Doppler, I'm indicating where there may be potential hail with this storm by the purple coloring. We could have large hail coming out of this storm. Also, we're seeing rotation. I want to show you a live exclusive look at this storm. This is from a storm chaser who is out right now following this storm. So you see the low-hanging clouds. You see the rotation in the storm. The picture may move from time to time because this is live as it's happening. The actual funnel cloud, at least the rotating wall cloud, we're not quite seeing a funnel descend yet, but it is possible that that could happen.
But let's start right here in Houston.
Gene Norman has the latest on Isaac, where it's headed and how strong it's going to be when it hits. Gene?
Well, we're still waiting for that strengthening to occur. Today, the Hurricane Center stopped just short of declaring this a hurricane. Very sprawling looking picture here when you see the clouds and then the green and the yellows indicating the rain, which continues to pound the eastern coast of Florida. Now, as the Hurricane Hunter planes were flying around this afternoon, they did find some higher winds, the highest that we've seen so far. However, keep in mind that these numbers are at the 5,000-foot level. What the Hurricane Center does is it takes these numbers in the 80s and estimates what the wind would likely be at the surface. So they kept it at a 70-mile-an-hour wind. The other thing that we've noticed this afternoon, the storm has slowed down. Now it's moving to the northwest at 12. For instance, yesterday and this morning, it was still going to 15 to 18 miles an hour. Slowing down, dropping central pressure, those are signs of strengthening, and they do anticipate that it will become a hurricane either late tonight or during the day tomorrow, and then head for southern Louisiana as a Category 2 hurricane before coming inland and then dumping a lot of rain across the lower Mississippi River Valley. Now, as far as the impacts, there are the three things that we look at: the wind, the flood, and the surge impact. It could see winds between 90 and 100 miles an hour when the storm makes the landfall, and the flooding could be the result of anywhere from 7 to 15 inches of rain. Storm surge could be as high as 7 to 10 feet in some places.
The plane.
Well, that big bird would certainly dwarf Gene's hurricane hunters. But before we start worrying about the tropics, I guess we have to worry about some heat first.
That's right. On the first day of August, it's been typically hot. The actual high in Houston, 96 degrees. But when you factor in the humidity, has felt a lot hotter than that. In Kemah, a live look out there. A lot of folks trying to cool off from a heat index of 104 on the western side of Galveston Bay. And notice you don't see any clouds there or up in the Woodlands where it feels like it's 101 with a very light southeast wind. Up at Bush Intercontinental Airport, speaking of the airport, it's 96 there. You factor in that 71-degree dew point, it feels like 105. So it's the combination of the temperature and the amount of moisture in the air that makes it just feel so oppressive. And that's typically what happens when we get to the beginning part of August. Now, let's take a look at our True View forecast. A reminder tonight, we'll be seeing the first of 2 full moons in this month. The second one is called a blue moon because that's what happens when you have 2 full moons in the same month. We'll have one today and one on the last day of August. And by 10 o'clock, it'll be very warm and humid, 84 degrees with mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, sticky and 78 first thing out the door, as it has been the past couple of mornings. Another hot day, maybe just a couple of clouds out there tomorrow, but 97 for a high. Now let's talk about Tropical Depression 5, which which is likely to become Ernesto overnight or during tomorrow morning. Maximum winds only 35 miles an hour. It is moving steadily to the northwest at 18. And as it continues that trek through the Caribbean by the weekend and the early part of next week, it could become a hurricane, Category 1. At least that's what the initial forecast track is showing. So what would happen as far as maybe getting into the Gulf or getting close to the Yucatan? Well, a couple of key factors are the things that I'm watching. We have the big bubble of high pressure keeping us hot. That's going to retreat back into West Texas. Another area of high pressure will develop in the eastern Gulf. Now, between those two, we'll see some showers develop. Has nothing to do with Ernesto, but the strength of those two highs will be a big player into where Ernesto will actually end up. If this high in the eastern Gulf pushes it more down to the south, it could end up perhaps going to Mexico. But if this high weakens, there won't be a lot of steering out there, so Ernesto might be something we'll have to really be concerned about. Got a long way to go before that happens and lots of time to track it. Meanwhile, tonight, weather where you live shows temperatures dropping into the mid-70s in many of our northern neighborhoods, perhaps the upper 70s, so balmy under clear skies. And then tomorrow, another hot day. Triple digits expected for Navasota and Brenham with a heat index between 103 and 108. From Houston down toward the coast, another humid night for sure. Muggy with overnight lows in the upper 70s, 77 for Pearland, 75 in Angleton. Topping out tomorrow in the mid to upper 90s again. Again, that heat index is what you'll really be noticing, the steamy heat feel. Rating tomorrow's weather from 1 to 10. I'm going to keep it at a 6. It's the Norman number. You can follow it on Twitter or my Facebook fan page. And the 7-day forecast shows the heat beat along with increasing chances for rain late in the weekend through the early part of next week. And even though Ernesto may not ever come here, it's a good idea to always be prepared. I want to remind you to go to your local area Randall's, pick up the 2012 Hurricane Preparedness Guide, also your local State Farm agent. It's sponsored by our good partners at CenterPoint Energy, and I want to, of course, give you each one.
Well,
you're assuming we don't already have one.
Well, now you have an extra.
These plastered all over my wall in the office.
I know.
Thank you, Gene.
It's wallpaper for us, though.
All right, coming up, a record-breaking
mentioned it, the Skeeters, a new era kicks off in Sugar Land tonight.
After months of anticipation, it is opening day for the Skeeters baseball team.
And our very own Gene Norman is at Constellation Field. Gene, looks like a great day to watch a ball game.
Oh, man, it is great out here. Kind of breezy, which is good because at least it doesn't feel that hot and humid. We're here at Constellation Field for the kickoff of the Skeeters' inaugural season. And, hey, Derek Gordon is this pitcher for Sunday. Are you ready for the game? Ready for the season? He says he's ready, and the fans are ready too. We caught up with a couple of fans. This is Randy and his dad, Buddy, lifelong Sugar Land residents. Are you ready and excited for tonight?
Oh, yes. Super pumped about them being here, and great facility. It's going to be awesome. Awesome season.
Not a bad seat in the house, it looks like.
It's beautiful. You're right up close to the action. It's going to be great.
All right, now your dad's a Korean War veteran. You've got a mosquito on your... So you had a premonition long ago that there'd be a team in Sugar Land, right?
Yeah. Sure enough.
It's something to do with mosquitoes.
Something to do with mosquitoes. Well, coming up later in the newscast, we're going to talk about some of the things you can do and see here at the stadium. It's a beautiful feel. As we said, not a bad seat in the house. The bad news is tonight's game completely sold out. But at least the weather's not too bad. Just kind of breezy and warm.
Forward to it. All right. Thank you, Gene. It's sold out. It's better than nobody showing up. Ahead on 11.